So, you want to make it memorable, you want your store to stand out and people remember it for more than the 5 seconds that they look at the window. The buzzword has been for quite a while now. You want to invest in experiential retail, which really feels kind of silly to me because, quite honestly, anytime you walk into a store, it's an experience. The question is it a good experience or a bad experience? Is it memorable? Is it not memorable? Experiential retail is what we make it. So that's what I'm going to talk about, is just making good experiences. But we're going to start first with bad experiences because those are very, very memorable. First of all, what do people experience when they try to get into your store? Is the door stuck? I have a friend who had a store and the door was always stuck, and it made me crazy. It made a lot of customers crazy because it always felt like not only could you not get in without jamming your arm, but not super welcoming. And she explained that the landlord told her that he'd be fixing the door, and it was like, yeah, this is your business. Just do it yourself because you can't afford for people to walk away. We're all animals. We smell very, very quickly. And if we smell mold, we're out of there. And just like animals, we're very aware of light levels. So if lights are out, it sort of sucks the life out of the rest of the store. Have good, steady light levels throughout the store. When a bulb goes out, fix it. When I walk in, I want to be acknowledged. This has happened more often than not. Slide one, slide two. All someone has to do if they're on the phone is look up and smile, maybe hold up their finger like, I'll be with you in a minute. That's all I need. It's all anybody needs. We don't need for you to get off the phone. We need to know that you give a damn. Cleanliness matters. Ugh. Equally, ugh. As does safety. Safety is huge. A friend of mine was shopping in a big box store, pun totally intended, and was hit by a box on her head. Now, she wasn't like waggling and knocking the gondola around, but it's possible someone at the other end of the gondola was doing so, and a poorly placed box fell down, hit her in the head, made her life pretty much a living hell. She was miserable and needed tons of chiropractic and therapy, and she sued the company and won. No one needs this. People walk into your store assuming they're going to walk out in the same physical condition that they walked in with. The only difference is that their wallet may be lighter or their credit card debt heavier, but physically they should feel the same. If you have a store dog, and I adore store dogs, please make sure it's a friendly store dog. I walked into this charming store and I saw this cute little ball of fluff, and I started to walk over, and immediately the store owner said, "Don't pet the dog, she bites." I was like, oh my God, devil dog from hell. Okay, but that's what I remembered about the experience. I don't like being thought I'm stupid when I go into a store. Now, granted, I may be, but I don't need anyone looking at me like this, nor does anybody else. Now, when you work in a store, customers can not only ask really dumb questions, but can be jerks. Even so, please, please make us feel good. This works. So, what are good experiences? I'm going to start with Myopic in Portland, Oregon, the Sellwood section of Portland, Oregon. The co-owner, John Schreiber, and his wife have 3 stores, and they're all equally beautiful. And he's really excellent at store presentation, design, and visual merchandising. And he worked hard on not only getting these wings right, but getting them at a size and height that would work for a variety of people. and people stand outside and get their picture taken all the time. When you walk in, this is behind the cash wrap area, and the little addition of lights behind the glasses just makes all the difference in the world. One of the great experiences they offer is a photo booth, which is a ton of fun, and people use it all the time. So that brings me to, what are you doing? People take selfies, they want to record their experiences. Do you offer anything that gives them the opportunity to take pictures? If you have something picture worthy. At Sarah, which is a very elegant cannabis store, they have this live selfie wall that I couldn't resist. But selfies have been around, or photo ops have been around for a long time. At this really good motel and restaurant in the Dalles, Oregon, I mean, just sticking your head through a hole works. I mean, it's old, but it's still viable. Or you could go kind of crazy and really do something super fun. And I apologize for the noise that this is going to create, but just focus on the emotions. They're really kind of fun. And okay, enough of that. Once again, stick your head through a hole or just pop out from a photo blow up. All these things give opportunities for people to add to their experiences. Sitting on an enormous bear, the only safe way to sit on a bear. Now, this is a little more expensive, maybe, $2,600 after shipping, maybe more, actually, probably a lot more. The Museum of Ice Cream is a terrific experience. It was in San Francisco, has moved around the country. Granted, you're not going to do a museum of ice cream in your store, but what you can do is create something that's fun, something that's attractive, pretty, memorable. Stu Leonard's does that every day. Now, granted, that little child is looking a little freaked out, but Stu Leonard's has animatronics going on around the store. They have little events. These things of milk are doing songs and dancing. The chickens are coming out of their coops, clucking. It's just fun. And they do exceptionally well as a result. But it's just part of the experience. So, how do you create participatory experiences, something that's more physically challenging? At this shop, Wild Fang, this little swing just goes back and forth, and people were encouraged to write on the wall. So you may be worried, what if someone sues me? They're not really going to go far. If they do, it's possible, but you can also judge when someone sits on the swing and ask them to get off and just say, we're not feeling good about the swing today or whatever. I saw this down in Florida, just a jukebox. What really made all the difference was it was free, and I put in my selection, but then I couldn't leave till I heard my selection, so I ended up spending about $35 that I had no intention of spending because I was waiting for my stupid song. But it was fun, and I enjoyed it. At K. Marie in Milwaukee, Oregon, they sell all sorts of fun goodies to make stuff. It's a very crafty-oriented store, but the quality and vintage feel of what they sell sets it apart from many, many other types of craft stores, so that you find things here that you can't normally find. And in the back, they offer areas not only for you to work on your own stuff, but to work with friends, which is really fun. So they host parties, bring your own champagne. It creates a very memorable, not only experience, but loyalty to the store. This is a back area in a store in Portland that offers terrarium building classes. At Muji in Portland, you stamp your own products. So if you buy pads or notebooks or anything, you can stamp them for free. And it's really fun. I mean, it also adds movement and color and energy to the display below. And the entire base is made up of stamps. Very fun, and I had to buy something to stamp. I mean, I just have to. After purchasing, however, which was a very important little aspect to this sign. So that's, and here, pay before stamping. Once again, they remind you. So I got my little book and I stamped it. I wish I had stamped more. Um, Actually, that's the wrong name on this slide, but I'm just going to tell you that this was a place in Oakland, California, that was a cat rescue place, but it was a very experiential cat rescue place where you could actually play with the cats. Among major Oakland um, scenery and famous buildings. And this is actually Swintonberry Farm in Davenport, uh, California, and they make all their own uh, jams and jellies and products. And I love this. It is so California. Don't panic, everything's organic. But what makes it so much more experiential and incredibly trusting is make your own change. It was an honor till. You can pay your own way, including insert your own card, enter the amount, and charge. I asked the owner, did he feel that, he was ripped off? And he said, most people are honest. He said, we're not really sure, how many people steal, but they're pretty sure it's probably the same amount that steal from any store. Most people are honest. And when they're given the opportunity to do the right thing, most people will do the right thing. Another part of this area is just hang out. There are games, there are books to read, all about the history of the area, there are maps. It was very relaxed and enjoyable and truly a delight to be there. Mrs. Dalloway's, a really cool little bookshop in Berkeley, has chairs underneath their tables so that when they have events, all they do is pull the chairs out. I mean, no one shops that lower level. I thought this was a brilliant solution to create, make it easy actually for not only your customers, but for your sales staff to have events in your store. And I was walking through Bridgeport Village in Tigard, Oregon, which is a upscale, outdoor, more interesting type mall, and Tender Loving Empire, which is I'm not sure how many stores they have right now. They all just started in Portland. They were doing like a raffle, or excuse me, a spinning wheel for, you'd win something. So if you got number 10, you'd win something in the store, 14, whatever. It was fun. It was a bigger crowd than this, but people were absolutely loving what they got. And they'd go in with their little slip of paper, I won this, and then they'd go shopping after they picked up what they won. Guardian Games, which is a huge retail trend in the country, basically tables, chairs, and games. And people come in and they sell like every game you can possibly imagine, but they also offer games for free, or people come in with their own games. And then, of course, there are snacks, and they sell all those little cards that boys who are 8 years old can't live without. Maps are a fun little experiential thing. Look at all the people just trying to get their little pin into New York. It was fun. At the RV store, coffee bar, cookies. I mean, anytime you feed somebody, you're doing them a favor. They remember you. And then this was on the outside of Oodles for Kids, a toy store in Portland, Oregon, and it was the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11, and they did all sorts of fun things where kids drew their own rockets and pinned the rocket on the moon. It had all sorts of informative stuff. I got it at a slow moment, but they said there were lines for a while. And there are really fun things for the kids to do, and it made it a real community event. The messiest was creating craters on the moon, which actually the kids love best. Boys Fort in Portland, Oregon is a terrific gift shop with all sorts of unusual and inventive things. But they had this sort of dead space in the back, and they had an artist come in and create a tented anthropology type place where somebody might have come in, in the 20s and done their studies of all sorts of I can't even say it. You get where I'm going with this. But there were surprises throughout. And what was so cool was they weren't selling anything from here. It was just an experience. And you knew that. You go into a store and normally there's stuff stocked everywhere and there's no eye relief and very often there's nothing interesting. And then you see this weird fuzzy little creature and you're going, okay, now that's interesting. That's fun. And then at the garden corner in Tualatin, Oregon, I looked at this thing and I thought, oh my God. I mean, my head came up to, I don't know, maybe where the flowers came, where the flowers were coming down. I mean, this thing is big. You don't expect that. So doing things that people don't expect is a terrific way of creating a good experience. This is one of my favorite Windows displays. Someone just sent it to me. It was just so weirdly sick and funny. But if I actually knew who did this, I'd be touting it all over the place because it's fun and different and unexpected. So create interesting experiences for your customers. There are a lot of really good ways of doing that. And good luck. Thanks for listening and watching and experiencing.